Everybody, welcome into another episode of Vision Pros Live. I'm your show host, Jackson Callum, founder and CEO of First Class Business. And I'm really excited to have Billy Stitt on the show today. This guy's got a bacon company. Like how much better can it get? And he's got a restaurant. He's got a lot of background in farming and family and values. And the amount that we get to learn today isn't just about how to dream up a vision or even just produce a vision, but his background in these different industries means that he becomes a potentially powerful mentor for anybody who's willing to reach out to him and talk to him. And that's really what his MO was, as he talked to me about coming on the show, is he wants to be connected to more podcasters. He wants podcasters and audiences to realize how fun it can be to work with him and talk to him. And so I don't know where all of his ambitions and dreams are taking him and what he's up to in that regard, but maybe we'll get into that too right when I bring him back on. So before I bring Billy back on, a couple of other fantastic resources to be aware of and to tune into. One is Dr. Shannon and Dr. Justin Pierce of Journey to Wellness. I've known them for 8 years now. I met them at a conference of chiropractors and holistic professionals that I spoke at years ago. We stayed in touch, stayed friends. I had a couple of friends that and family members who had some serious health issues, and Shannon's known for curing and helping with health issues that were incurable that nobody could work with. And all three of the people that I sent to her, when I followed up with them, just raved about what they learned and what they were able to uncover about their health. And I was able to see the transition, like the transformation they had. So it was such an honor when they decided that they wanted to work with me back in November. It's been 8 years coming. But if you've got a health issue, or especially those of you who are women, that's what Shannon's specialty is: helping women overcome fatigue and anxiety and health issues. And secondary, we've got Jennifer Reed's company up here, Practice Makes Permanent. Jennifer Reed is a cultural facilitator. She helps companies understand EQ and IQ, and emotional intelligence and spirit. I said EQ and IQ, EQ and SQ, emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence, and incorporate that in the workplace in order to bless the lives of families. She firsthand learned a very hard lesson about emotional intelligence and about being there for your family and making sure you're doing the right things. She lost her son to suicide just over a year ago, and that's what inspired her to say, you know what, I'm going to dive in as much as I can to learn about emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence. And I can tell you the things that I've learned from Jennifer have made a phenomenal impact on my life. And she's been training in one of the most difficult organizations, in my opinion, that exists out there. She's been working for the IRS for more than 20 years, I believe. I can't remember if it's 20 years exactly or not, but that's one of those areas where making a difference and showing up to work with the right attitude. If you get the chance to meet her, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And if she can go about saving more families and making sure that parents are more prepared to help their children at home, then she's going to do just that. So I believe in her full force, and hope you get the chance to meet her as well. Then there's the Water Project. You can see right there with my hand. The Water Project is something that I support every single month. And I've never been thirsty in my life. But when I found out there's millions of kids and families that don't have access to clean water, and it affects their lives and disrupts it, and there's an entity that's actually willing to do something about it, it was really cool. I gave like $20 the first time to a specific entity or a specific project. And they actually sent me social media posts about the project update and what they were doing to educate the people to keep up with this water well that they were building. It's called a borehole well. They teach you about it, and you get to see the community transformation. We're talking about a contribution that helps generations of people with their life. So if you've got another cause you'd like to see us support, then by all means, let us know about it. I'm going to get back to supporting your cause right now of how to build your vision out by interviewing some of these great guests. So, Billy, thanks for joining me on Vision Pros Live. I really appreciate you being here, man.
Happy to be here. This is a really good setting. I'm enjoying this.
Well, good, man. Me too. The family aspect. I think a lot of people forget or overlook the reality of how important family is. Your father helped you out, and then two, the community. He was smart enough to also get involved in the community, ask you what things you wanted. So those are all huge impacts already for us as visionaries. I want to steer you down some of the restaurant path because that's where I want to go, but I also know better than to do that. This may be our last time to talk about vision and what vision means to you and how you can help others with it. So I'd rather give you a clean slate, a clean canvas. What do you want to talk about to help visionaries out there bring their goodwill to life?
Oh gosh. Uh, there's I definitely fall in the visionary category. I, I'm, I'm kind of a geek in regards to writing my plans down. I have the worst handwriting in the world, but I when computers came along, that helped me a lot because now I can read my notes. But I've been working off one plan that I started. I actually started journaling in high school, but the where it really got detailed and I really put it to paper, and I'm still working off that same plan, was one that I started when I was 18 years old as a freshman at Ole Miss. And that's where I said, you know what, I'm going to work hard for as many people as I can. And I'm going to one day own my own restaurant and one day own my own brand. Um, and by putting it on paper, I don't think I would be where I'm. Believe me, I'm definitely struggling in a lot of ways. Um, but I wouldn't. I would have never started it, and I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't put it on paper.
Mm.
So
Well,
write those ideas down, and don't ever throw your old notes away. Um,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with editing them, but keep your original copy.
I love that. I'm a big fan of writing as well. You guys can see right here when I look distracted, it's because I'm writing. It's a huge component of too what it brings me joy, satisfaction, and peace in my life. You mentioned the word struggle. We might have time to come back to that, but you also said something that I think a lot of people miss out on in life. But you caught it from an early age. You said you want to help as many people as you can. Um, why do you care? What drove you to care, and why do you care?
Uh, you know, Caring for others was instilled in my family, from my grandparents to my parents, my brother, every one of them. I mean, they got up in the morning and it wasn't all about them. They got up in the morning wanting to help people. And uh, it was just, we watched my mother and father constantly just doing things for others. If it wasn't just for us, when my brother and I were kids, it was just, you know, when we would get picked up at the ballpark from some sort of sporting event, both my mom and dad, they wouldn't just grab us and go. They would look around to make sure that some kid wasn't getting left. Because there was always somebody that, somebody forgot to pick them up, or they didn't have anybody to pick them up.
Hmm.
Or, when we were in scouting or sports or anything, we just, and then the customers that my dad worked with they weren't just customers to him, they were his friends. And they were involved, they were community minded people that were, yeah, they were making money and they were driving their business, but that wasn't what it was to them. It was, how do I make my community better? How do I create a company, or how do I take my vision? Because to have a vision, you and to have a company, you have to have people.
Yeah,
Um, it's just, if you can bring on people and they become part of your company family, and you learn what their goals and visions are, and you tell them, this is only as far as I can go with this company. This is as much as I can pay. This is what I can offer. If we get to here, I can do more. But if we're just going to maintain and stay where we are, this is as far as I can go. So when it comes time for you to decide to do something different, I hope you don't just disappear. I hope
hmm,
you try to find a way to do what I call graduate, where you come to me. And let me back up for a minute. When I worked for the folks at a restaurant in Oxford, Mississippi, I graduated from college. I worked with them all through college. I was studying hospitality. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to run restaurants. And I approached them and I said, I've learned so much here. I really like it, but I want to get out and see the world. I want to do some different things. And they said, okay, great, but let us help you. So they said, if you'll agree to give us, X amount of time, we will help you find what you want to do. and make a great decision, but you need to help us also train someone to do what you do. And I was like, that's great. So we looked at everything from McDonald's to Marriott. And we studied all these different companies. And Ruby Tuesdays, which was owned by Morrison's Cafeterias at the time, kept popping
Mhm.
up. So just to have owners of a small company to not just look at me and say, well, the guy wants to leave, he's gone. I'll never forget that.
Right.
So when people that work with me decide they want to do something different, I hope they'll give me a chance to help them. Um, I mean, just don't just disappear. There's a lot of people out there just disappear, and they don't give their boss a chance to help them. Since they help them, they want to help them also.
It's huge. And
That's,
well, a lot of people
that's
never learn that either, Billy, on the entrepreneurial side. It's so cool to see that you've had so many great mentors that knew how to do that. The E-Myth, Michael Gerber talks about that exact type of experience of understanding how to delegate well by taking great care of the people who are helping you build. Making sure you're staying in touch with what is it they're doing and you're prepared. And good friend of mine, Craig Hanley, he's got a Fortune 500 company called Listen Trust, and they wrote a book called Hired to Quit, Inspired to Stay. And they make sure that everybody they bring in knows that you're not necessarily meant to be here long term. You got ambitions and goals and things you want to do. We want to help you get there.
right,
And that inspires those people to say, wow, I belong here. And so
right.
you're a living, breathing example of that as well. So I guess it would be easy for somebody like me to think, okay, your vision is just to inspire people to enjoy the taste of bacon, right? Enjoy the taste of food. But I don't want to limit you. What's your vision for those that you serve? And you serve multiple audiences, so feel free to expand.
You know, Billy's has become so much more than just a hamburger joint, or a personal chef experience, or a slice of bacon. Um, it's it's a family. We have 30 to 40 people that come and go through my doors every day that work here, and the restaurant's been doing this for 13 years, and the bacon company for 8 years, and and I want to expand. I want to grow the restaurant to where we can open Little Billy's. I want to go east to Pensacola, Destin, in the 30A area with three Little Billies, and I want to go west to Mobile and Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and Covington, Louisiana. All places that I could drive to and be home in my own bed at night, and open Little Billy's, a small bacon and burger joint, um, fast casual little concept. I want to get that mastered, and then I want to push north through to small college towns and large college towns, and grow the brand there. And then with the bacon company,
Wow.
I want to get to where I can really put a road show together and travel around the country talking about bacon and talking about hospitality and how the hospitality industry and bacon is what I'm about. And have my distributors that help me get my bacon to people support me along the way. So, for example, if I've got a good old Winnebago pulling a trailer with my old 1958 Chevy Apache with a kitchen in the back of it, pull into Dallas, Texas, and park it at some mall or whatnot, and walk out of the back of my sleeper van and grab about 50 pounds of product and put it into my pickup truck and drive to some festival or show or some major street corner. And I
Yeah.
pull up and start cooking bacon. And
Yeah.
I've done it a few times, and it's a really cool experience. And I want to be invited to festivals and shows and be an MC. I just want to show up and talk about pork belly and the fun about it.
That is awesome. That is just living. That reminds me of the 4-hour work week without the push of like being lazy. It's the exact opposite. It's like being tenacious with purpose, though, that creates a wonderful life. So you mentioned hospitality. My first article on LinkedIn ever, it's probably got like 8 views on it. It talks about how if you want to hire successfully, hire out of the hospitality industry.
I
And so
agree.
I am right there with you. The hospitality industry blessed my life so well. And you brought up struggle. Let's circle back to the struggle. I'll lead the way. I had a co-host that was learning a lot with me as he was helping me grow Vision Pros Live out. As we were going through some big growing pains and financially just wasn't there. Lots of challenges. We invest a lot to make these episodes come out and to build our brands and build other brands. And he said, Jackson, it's a real shame what we haven't been able to accomplish. And I said, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And he let me know, and he was referring specifically finance. And I said, well, I don't think it's a shame at all. I'm really grateful for where we're at. And he said, what do you mean? So we have over 30 families on payroll for over a year and a half now. And none of them could have ever had the opportunities that they have today. They got job stability, they got security. They've all got raises. They've never dreamed like they've dreamed until now. And we continue to grow, and we'll continue to get better and learn along the way. And top 5% podcast, etc., all that stuff. But at the end of the day, man, the families whose lives we've blessed, why would I ever take that for granted? So,
Well said.
well, your side, you mentioned some struggles, but some of your stories also just kind of larger than life. I know you've been able to build some pretty amazing things in my eyes. So, you want to talk about that?
Well, I mean, golly, talking about struggles kind of makes you feel like a country song. Um,
Feel free to spin it.
I've really tried hard to not go that route because I've told those stories so many times.
Well, how do you keep the positive and the fun as front and center in the middle of the struggles? Let's go there.
Somebody I loved very much told me one morning that they didn't understand how I could be so positive with all the negative around me.
Hmm.
And anybody that's ever worked with me, whatever day it is, I walk in and I say, happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, happy Friday. Let's make today awesome. Tell me something awesome. What's going on in your world? And I mean it when I say those things. And it doesn't surprise me when somebody slows me down and pulls me around the corner and they break down into tears about something horrible that happened. I guess I've been through a lot. I'm still going through a lot. It's definitely part of the story. All of the struggles that I've had have definitely made me stronger. I'm definitely not a quitter. I guess I thought owning my own restaurant was just going to be this just nonstop easy money. And that's not been the case at all. I thought X amount of dollars was going to be enough to do my plan. You might as well multiply that times a lot more. And timing has always been different. When we get things going right, and then I had somebody take a bunch of money from me at an event, and that's still a mystery as to who did it. And one day I'll find out, but that doesn't really. I mean, it was all gone, and that put me into a financial turmoil. Had a federal agency decide that we needed to make a bunch of changes on my property, and
they came in and
gave
out.
Hold
on, I lost you for a minute there, Billy.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. So you're at an event. You lost some money. Somebody took some money. Continue on that.
That was just shame on me kind of thing. They were supposedly putting the money in the bank every day. That all disappeared. And then after that, I had ADA came in and told me I had to do all this stuff. And that was just, I couldn't quit. So I had to find a way to do what all they said. And that was a nightmare. When everything was, and then, busted up marriage. I lost my father and I didn't handle that well. He was my best friend. He was my everything.
Mhm.
And I just really was not healthy. I was way overweight. I was just not where I needed to be. And everything was spinning around me. And
Dang.
things just, but I just kept plugging and praying and talking through it. And slowly, the guy above, he's got a better plan than I do. And he just guided me. And the restaurant's turned around and we've got it to where it's doing really well. The bacon company is doing well, but needs to scale. Uh, just just a whole lot of things will hit you, but you still got to get up and go to work. Um, I couldn't just lay down and hide. Uh, I didn't mean to get off on a negative tangent there. I just
You're just telling me about the man above helping in some serious life situations, things that most people go through, at least one, two, or three of the things that you're talking about. And this may be the message that they need today. So can
yeah.
continue on that path.
Well, things are going to happen to you along the way that you have no control over, but you still have to own them. And that's
Yep.
broken marriages, loss of a loved one, financial disasters, and people that you care about are going to steal from you. And strangers are going to do things to you when you're a giving person.
Yep.
Those are going to happen to all of us. It's just you got to get up and you got to keep moving.
That's right.
I mean, there so many weeks and months where I did everything I could to make sure everybody that worked here got paid, and I knew I wasn't going to get paid, or I'd write myself a check and write it right back.
Yeah.
That's it's just brutal. But when you start seeing some things fell into my lap that really helped me out. When I started making my bacon, that everybody loved it. I had a really large hotel in the area come to me and say, "We want to buy your bacon, but not only want to buy it, we want to get it to a distributor."
Mm,
So that helped put me on the map. Um,
that's awesome.
and then so that little company is just growing, and now we went from being this little bitty company that made bacon for ourselves, and we're selling it out the door, to getting USDA certified. And now we're in 5 different distribution warehouses. We're sold by Goldbelly all over the country. We're constantly winning awards. And I get these just fun and exciting, crazy emails, texts, and phone calls from some foodie or some chef that just says, "Man, I had your bacon. It's unbelievable." And I love talking about it. And so my vision is to grow the restaurant company and to scale the bacon company, and to all of those to follow underneath the Billy's umbrella, to where I can get out and share my bacon and share my story, and possibly be invited by, a different company that has an event and they just need somebody to come in and motivate their people. I know I didn't sound very
Yeah.
motivating talking about my struggles, but a lot
I
of
think
happy.
the opposite. The opposite's true, Billy. It depends on what people are going through at the
Yeah.
time. So you got the dynamic of being able to do both. And
Well,
that's an
thank you.
unfair advantage in the market. And so I hope you leverage it, because you got a powerful story that can help uplift people who maybe feel hopeless. And then you got that super hopeful dynamic as well. And that attitude of, I'm going to bring the fun today too.
Right. You got to have
So
a good time. Yeah.
you
One
got it.
other thing I wanted to add in there is I worked for a corporate restaurant company, and corporate restaurant is a bad word. And I disagree with that. Anyone else would jump at the chance to hire somebody from Applebee's, Chili's, Ruby Tuesdays, or Charlie's because they're trained. But
Absolutely.
when the Food Network started progressing, they really turned everybody into a foodie, and then they just made those brands bad, which is not true.
Right. No way.
But I realized that if I was going to grow within that major organization, that I had to really sell myself, and I had to be able to do something better than other people were doing. And I identified the to go part of the Ruby Tuesdays chain as a huge opportunity to just take a business within the business and just blow it up. So I did it within my one restaurant and then my entire district. And then I got an opportunity to become the national director of to-go and catering for Ruby Tuesdays. And that was exciting.
Wow.
And that was just great people running that organization that saw that I was passionate about doing something. And they said, we don't really know what to do with this guy, but let's take him and let's let him help us grow this part. And it was an amazing experience for me. I'll never forget it. I mean, I didn't want to leave that company, but I knew that I couldn't move to where they wanted me to move, and I needed to stay where I was. So I was able to basically retire and start my own gig.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it brings a lot of hope to a lot of people who've got a lot of big ambitions and plans. And it doesn't matter if we're 20 or we're 80. There's still opportunities for us, and there's a lot of purpose to fulfill. So I'm truly inspired by your story. I hope we continue to catch up.
Sure.
I got a chef named Billy Joe Wilson down in Texas who I guess I should say up in Texas. Great friend of mine, phenomenal individual, phenomenal chef. I'd hire him full time to be my chef if I could. So we'll see what comes out of that and other relationships. But Vision Pros, this is just a prime example. Not knowing what to expect on an experience, getting to know each other, swapping friendship stories, and then seeing what you can do to help each other's vision come to reality and bless other people out there. So thank you for all that you provided today, Billy. I'll give you the final word. Any last fortune cookie piece of advice you'd like to give to Vision Pros?
Yeah. Tell your story again and again and again. Share your vision and don't hold back. I mean, if you're going to do something, do it all the way, and work for as many people as you possibly can, and always exit in a positive way.
Love it. And you heard it from the man behind Billy's Bacon. If you see it on shelves, purchase it. If you don't, go onto the website. I'm sure he's got distribution coming in different formats. But and let's get a hold of Jim Gaffigan. Let's get him in this lineup so that he can test it out and tell us how he feels about it. We'll see you guys soon. Enjoy your days and keep enjoying building out your vision. Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.